Greetings, welcome to Jefficho Films. Looking into the new Doom movie, I saw a lot of negative reviews for the old one. Did people not enjoy that? Maybe it wasn't completely accurate towards the game, but it had The Rock and Karl Urban, and when The Rock said fuck, you knew he was the bad guy. And some people say a good scene isn't enough to save a movie because there's that first-person shooter scene, which is amazing. I say go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That ending scene kind of helped that movie a lot. I just think the original has some serious rewatchability. It doesn't have to be great to have that. And when I heard there was a new one being made a year and a half ago, I was pretty excited. Is it great? Well, is anything straight to DVD ever great? Who knows? So let's review Doom Annihilation. The movie starts out with shots of Mars and a cheap asteroid flying by, and there's a space station on this asteroid, United Aerospace Corporation, and they've got a secret Delta Labs base underneath. Then we jump to Earth in Nevada, where a UAC underground experimental lab is going to send Dr. Barnes through this teleporter, which is clearly not of human design, and it looks pretty sweet, much more accurate to the game. And he goes through and he makes it, but he's totally going to die. He just starts screaming and he starts to change. Then we get a flashback of Joan's dying mom giving her cross before she wakes up in cryosleep, where the AI Daisy tells them they are very close to Phorbus, which is the asteroid base. Next we see the UAC NOLA, and it's an armored transferred vessel from Earth, and it looks pretty sweet. The pilot rambles on and everyone shows up, and then Joan shows up and just about everybody leaves, except for Dr. Stone, who's her ex-boyfriend, and they have an awkward chat. Dr. Betruger talks to one of the doctors on Earth, and he talks about covering it up so they don't get shut down. There's a Marine briefing about Phorbus, and Joan gets called out for screwing up before, and they believe that this assignment is a punishment because of her, and the captain and her have a chat.
I guess 4 months of hibernation didn't help ease tensions.
Did you expect it would?
Captain, I begged the review board to punish only me.
I can't believe they didn't take the advice from the person they were disciplining for insubordination.
Betruger's gonna go through the gate because he doesn't want to risk anybody else's life, and he doesn't really have many other options. And he goes through, and then we get an extreme power outage, and then the emergencies kick back on. You got this guy with a pipe through his leg, that's gotta hurt. And then we get a demon roar.
Oh my god. I just wait, okay?
The NOLA lands, but the pilot can't get a hold of anybody in the tower, and they receive a priority message. Stone tells them that there's another way in, a hatch below, and so their mission is to head in and figure out what happens. They also hear an audio of the demon scream again. Once they connect, the ship's power fluctuates, and all the Marines are armed, and Stone tells them that the reserve power is down to 2%, and he tells the captain if they don't restore power, they could lose the base and the moon. They split up into teams and tease first person, but we never really get it. Down on level 2, a dude sees a chainsaw. I wonder. Joan finds a decapitated body and a bunch of writing in blood. Apparently it's Sumerian, and the AI translates it to, "We have come to retake what is ours." The ship's AI seems to be hacked, his navigation is all messed up, and they're sending the teams the wrong way. We get a run by behind Lee, and she goes off to investigate. Foolishly. Another guy finds her and tells her not to leave, but then they find a dude getting eaten by another dude. Lee shoots the creature and then investigates. It's a doctor, just like in the other movie, and people complained about that. I don't get it. But she didn't do a good job checking to see if it was dead. The captain finds some survivors and they lose comms, and then they get swarmed by a bunch of these creatures, but they efficiently take them out. Level 1 creatures are always the easiest to deal with. I wonder how all these people got turned into these creatures. The Marines' numbers start to thin, and Joan has to resort to a chainsaw. She gets blood all over herself, so hopefully it's not passed genetically. Then Lee goes down, and I'm sad to see her go. I say this too often, but somebody should have had a sword. It'd be pretty efficient here. All the survivors meet up, and the captain locks him out as he's being swarmed, and he just takes out as many as he can. scientists are there? Betruger's still alive and he admits that they found alien life. And then Morgan, the ship's pilot, is talking to Daisy and she says no one's allowed to leave. And then she admits to not being Daisy. Joan tells the doc to spill the beans and he says for the human race to survive, they need to find a new planet. And the only way they're going to do that is to teleport using these machines. And then he thinks there's a gate everywhere because there's no chemical compound that matches the ones they found. Veronica says she saw monsters and Chaplin says it's a portal to hell. Joan says get back to the ship, and why is Chaplin even there on this scientific research station? Daisy opens the airlocks and Stone starts talking about how he's pretty excited about this discovery. Joan gets up and finds Morgan dead before Daisy admits to something and we get this weird dance step.
Daisy, what happened here?
Inevitably, what will happen to you as well.
This dude is totally taken out in front of Chaplin, and then the demon fires his flame ball as another one attacks the other group. Veronica goes back to Betruger and locks the door behind her, and she has a gun now as Joan's fighting one of these creatures and it's sucking the life out of her. Chappie takes a fireball as we learn enough bullets do finally kill this thing, and Chappie dies. He's got no scorch marks or a hole in him. That would have been cooler. It just pushes people. Winslow, who runs away a lot, actually came back and saved Carley, so he's got a good run and gun game. Veronica tells the doc that she saw him enter the gate and come back, and he doesn't remember any of it. So the three of them all sit around with the three Marines and have some food. Doc says the gates could get them back to work, and Stone tells Joan privately that they shouldn't go through the gates. She knows, but she just wants the power back on so they can call for help. Back into the station and they get to the reactor and Stone starts working on it. And then the doc starts talking about how Joan set a terrorist free and she got tried for insubordination. I mean, with all that's going on, why bring that up? And he keeps egging her on. He's totally compromised.
I remember everything. And you won't be telling a soul.
Joan!
Stone restores power, and then Doc pulls out a knife and stabs Veronica, and then a bunch of demons show up, who die a bit easier, but not for Carley. Apparently Joan's handgun does a better job than all the other people's guns. Two fireballs to kill Winslow. He must have had shields and been at full health. Joan keeps firing her gun, but try reloading it for realism. Now they're down to two, except Veronica's still alive, but she's about to die. But she does manage to tell Joan about secret level 4 base. Joan finds the BFG, it's a plasma gun, and then she admits to letting the terrorist escape and that all this led to her crew getting killed. Then she reminisces about her and Stone's first date, and then tests out the gun.
I'm still scared of elevators.
Level 4 clearly doesn't have a custodian, and I call BS on how many lab coat monsters we've seen already if this many are already dead down there. Apparently Betruger can talk to demons now, and Stone's possessed and attacks her. Betruger tells her the aliens made us who we are, and she's forced to kill Stone as he activates the gate, and he gets a drop on her, but she's a Marine. She should probably grab the BFG though.
It's a pity. You'll never know.
Bullets don't kill him now because he says he's already dead, and he uses his force ability to launch her through the portal, and she falls into water and climbs out of it, and she's on an alien world. It actually looks pretty sweet. I know it's green screen, but I like it. She's surrounded by all these creatures, and then this giant CGI demon form says that humans are pathetic, a plague on the universe. I mean, nice words and all, but we haven't even left the solar system, so. Joan gets to Earth and she tells them to shut down the gate, but they ignore her and thinks that she's been through a traumatic experience and drug her, and then we get implied creatures coming through the gate. Should have listened. This movie was directed by Tony Giglio, and he did SWAT Under Siege, which I saw, and it was like, chaos with Jason Statham, and he wrote Death Race 2, 3, and 4. He pitched the idea to Universal, and they shot him down, and then once the new Doom game came out, he came back with like all these numbers for it and how the interest has been peaked again, and they let it happen. I mean, they wanted to see a script first, so he wrote a 25-page script. He felt the previous films lacked demons, hell, the proper use of the gates, which he wanted to prioritize these elements in the new film. He also took a bit from Alien and Terminator in the fact that he wanted a strong female lead, so they casted Amy Manson as Joan. She was okay. I thought she was pretty weak in the beginning, but she definitely grew stronger throughout the film.
You need to shut this down. I need to contact whoever's in charge here.
I'm in charge.
I meant militarily.
This isn't a military operation.
Well, it's about to be. Did you hear what I fucking said? You need to shut this shit down now!
Okay, alright.
I also liked Luke Allen-Gale as Dr. Stone. I thought he was pretty good, but they didn't utilize him enough. I think I mentioned before, but that demon fireball really should have destroyed people, or at least burned a hole through them. I mean, there's no reason for them to hold anything back. This was 18A. This movie was okay. I don't think it has the same rewatchability as the original Doom, but I'll definitely check it out a few more times and maybe lend it to some friends. There was a lot of tweaks you could have done to make this into a really good film, but I mean, they did have some serious budget constraints, and I think critics are really gonna shit on this, but it was okay. It was an enjoyable watch. It was what I wanted. It's what I expected from a Doom to straight to DVD thing. They could just do a series. I mean, this guy did Death Race 2, 3, and 4. They could easily just keep going with this. Not much of a cliffhanger. I mean, Joan was drugged while the alien creatures are arriving, so...
Well, the moon poses more risk than the reactor.
What you mean?
Well, Phobos is one of the most unstable environments in the solar system. That's why they call it the doomed moon.
Cool.
I think they really should have kept Dr. Stone alive so they could have like a little combo team running around. Kill him off in the next one. Please, more Doom. It doesn't have to be great. It just has to be serviceable and entertaining. And you should probably include a first-person shooter area like in that first Doom. That was awesome. Everybody still talks about it. Why is it not in this? Seriously. Well, as always, thanks for watching.